What's up, YouTube? It's your boy again. Guys, today I want to talk about something serious, right? I want to talk about the unemployment issue in South Africa. Now, the truth of the matter is, South Africa does not have an unemployment issue or unemployment problem. South Africa has a laziness problem. The reason I say this is because if you want to judge a country by how lazy or hardworking that people of the nation are, you judge it by the lowest of the lowest work being done in that country and by whom. So, for example, in China, just give an example about China, right? From what I see on YouTube videos and all that, right? And the research that I've done, right? Most, if not all, of the low to the high jobs are all done by Chinese. One, two, the hours they put in into those low paying jobs is staggering. Now, if you take that into consideration in contrast to South Africa, you will see that by those metrics, that South Africans, we are lazy. So, with that being said, let's get into the video. You know how we do. We start off with the pros, and then we get into the cons, and then my final verdict on the matter. Holla. Guys, so let's get into the pros of being lazy in South Africa, right? One, you get to live a soft life, the easy life. Two, you get to depend on your parents and your family for your survival. Three, the government encourages laziness by handing out grants and handing out um there's this other word. There's grants and there's something else, man. There's something. Can't remember the word. But they give out free money basically, it's just a whole bunch of they just the South African government is almost like an enabler of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. A dependency state. Okay, so that's the word. A dependency state. So another thing is a lot of people depend on the government because the government is just so inactive. There's so much red tape that it makes it makes life so easy for the citizens because seeing that they are inactive in developing or producing jobs, you know, they just decide, what we're gonna do, we're gonna throw money at the problem. So what do people do? Well, there's free money. Why go work if I can get 350 rand and just sit at home, right? So that's why I say. So government is an enabler of a dependency state. You see what I mean? Those are the pros that I can think of. The easy life, depending on your family, depending on government, free money. There's just no incentive to wake up early and go and work if you have a government that gives you free money. I don't get it, bros. I don't see it. The rest of Africa, there isn't such a pro. Promise you that. They don't even have what we have. So over here, South Africa, we have it good for now. Is it going to last? Is it sustainable? I don't know. So while it lasts, enjoy the pros while it lasts. Trust me, because when it all disappears and it all falls apart, we're going to be back to square one where you never have been. And it's hard to learn later on in life. Holla. Next, we get into the cons of the video. You know how we do. Holla. Okay. The cons of the laziness issue. Guys, if you've never experienced brokenness in your life, it's not a nice feeling. The cons of being lazy, guys, is that you stay constantly broke, begging people for money, asking people for this and that. Other people got to buy your clothes, depending on others for simple, basic things that you could get yourself. Another con that I hate is we tend to blame other people for what we could be doing. But because those are low value, societal pressure makes it feel like you are above certain jobs or certain skill level sets, then it's not for you. So you'd rather sit at home and get a basic grant of 350 Rand than going out and selling something on the streets and making, even if it's going to be 500 Rand a day, you know what I mean? But the mere fact of you just sitting out there on a bucket or sitting on a crate selling something is just too low for you. That is a con that I hate so much. Guys, garden services are all done by foreigners, house cleaning, domestic services, you name it, all these low hanging fruit jobs that we don't want to do because we are too proud. We are too, I don't know what the word is, guys. It's just so embarrassing that the most basic and simplest of jobs are done by foreigners. And it's actually a reflection on us that we don't want to do low paying jobs. We don't do low labor. We don't do labor intensive jobs. We don't do long hour jobs. We don't want to do, dude, we don't want to do a whole host of things. A whole host of things. It's just unbelievable, bro. Another con of this laziness thing that we have is because we now become so dependent. We become so entitled. We become so reliant on external forces for our sustenance. I mean, dude, in other countries, the government doesn't assist the people in any shape or form. The only time the government steps in is if there's a natural disaster that destroys homes, roads, and bridges, infrastructure. Other than that, everyone else is hustling. There is no such thing as I'm going to go and queue and get free money. So the cornea is actually from the part of the government for enabling a dependent state. Now the people just want to be making TikToks, dancing, and sitting at home and making videos and thinking that's going to bring in money. Dude, no. Guys, come on. We need to be better than that. You know? I don't. Now I begin to see and understand why they say we are lazy. You know what I'm saying? Malema said it best. He said when a Zimbabwean woman is selling tomatoes on the corner and they chase her away, you won't see a South African woman going there or a South African man going there to sell tomatoes on the same spot. It will be vacant and empty again. You know what I'm saying? So those are things we need to look at, guys. So we need to change our attitude towards our thinking towards jobs, towards money making. We need to be more proactive in helping ourselves. Damn, it's so sad to say that, man. Yeah, guys, last we get into the final verdict of what I think of this laziness problem we have in South Africa. Hala. So, final verdict on the laziness problem, right? People, I keep saying laziness in the workplace is not just people thinking people don't want to wake up in the morning, people don't want to go to work, people just want to sit around on corners, hang around at home playing PlayStations and video games and watching music videos and just hanging around at the computer all day, going through YouTube videos and Instagram and social media, right? When we think laziness, we just think about the basics, right? People don't want to work for another human being or don't work for a company, and therefore they don't wake up in the morning. No, no, no. That's not the only type of laziness that there is. There's laziness at the workplace. There are people who get up in the morning, go to work as normal human beings. But when they get to work, they do the bare minimum. They're actually there for the money. That's all they there for. Nothing else. They don't pull their weight. There are people that go to work late. I mean, work starts at 8 o'clock. They're arriving there at what? Quarter past, half past. This is like every day I'm talking about. You know what I mean? They're supposed to work until 5 o'clock. But at half past four, they're already making a beeline to the changing rooms. And they're already changing and then sitting in there waiting for the clock to wind down so that they can go and clock out. Man, that is what kills businesses. I mean, let's talk about weekends and then let's talk about Monday mornings. Guys, absenteeism is a huge problem in South Africa. Let's talk about coming to work drunk. That's another huge problem in South Africa. Let's talk about being hung over at work. That is another problem. Then let's talk about attitudes. That is another big problem. So, guys, when we say South Africans are lazy, we're just not talking people who don't want to wake up in the mornings to go to a job. We are talking at people who actually work, that don't actually pull their weight, that only go there for the money. People that run away from work, run away early. People that arrive purposefully late because they just can't wake up in time or they just can't leave the house in time. All that, we see that as nothing, but all that adds up to what we refer to as laziness. Like I was saying earlier, if you compare the South African mentality to the Chinese mentality when it comes to this workplace etiquette, you'll be shocked that the Chinese, bro, it's almost like an army. They operate almost like they're in the military. It is precision to the core, right down to the nitty gritties. We don't have that. We have a lot of freedom over here. I mean, gee whiz, we get a lot of leeway. I mean, we get like 3 warnings, and then you get fired. You get a verbal warning, you get a written warning, then you get a final warning. Dude, in other countries, man, one slip up, you're gone. You're gone. So because obviously we at home, we in our own countries, we have families, we have friends, we have relatives, so we could always just fall back and lean back on whatever, you know what I mean? It's fine by us, you know what I mean? It's not like we're going to lose anything. But when the foreigners come in, they work 10 times as hard, 10 times as hard as we do, or 10 times harder than we do, because they don't have anyone to fall back on. And then we want to complain that they're taking our jobs, and yet they are showing employers that they are willing to do the things and more that we are not willing to do. And then we want to complain that they're taking our jobs. Guys, come on. Let's be real now, right? So at the end of the day, let us just say one thing. If you are not prepared to do what an employer wants you to do, you are not going to last long in that present job. And trust you me, they're going to replace you with someone who's willing to do what they want you to do. You see, most of us don't want low paying jobs, which is perfectly fine, perfectly understandable. You got high standards. But here's the thing, who is going to give you that 150, 200, 300 rand a day? Can you generate that on your own? If you can't generate that amount of money on your own, why are you complaining that it is too low? You can't work for such a low amount if you cannot generate that amount on your own. Think about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Holla!